Doors, ceilings, and escalators, illuminated at all hours by miles of soft white phosphorescence. Faint, eerie reflections. I catch glimpses of myself, watery and brief. The smells down here, I can't keep up with them. Just a second ago, I caught the whiff of grease traps bloated and yearning to be emptied. Sweet flour hits my nostrils next, but it lasts just a few seconds, overtaken by coffee, that nectar of productive life, black and steaming and $6.99 a cup.
Welcome to the path. Everyone down here has somewhere to be.
Well, most of us. The few that don't seem out of place and easy to spot, near a stairwell or digital ad. The path system is a maze of well-polished travertine tile and fast food locations. By the latest official tally, there are 3.7 million square feet of retail space divided into over 1,200 shops, restaurants, and beauty bars, spread across 30 kilometers of Toronto's downtown core. The system didn't begin so impressively. The original tunnel opened in 1900 and was located under the old Eaton's department store. It reached a sister building across James Street. Shoppers would venture underground, avoiding the soot and the heat, to buy discount furs, last year's radios, and pantyhose. What convenience. Sprawling, inscrutable, labyrinthian. If you don't know where you're going, it's not hard to get lost in the modern path system.
There are no windows to the outside world. The sun never sets, and the maps speak only in terms the path understands. Want to go north? Follow the arrows toward Toronto Dominion Centre. West? Look for signs that point to Metro Hall.
There's an etiquette down here. No one looks my way for too long or walks too closely. The pedestrians in a hurry gravitate towards the middle, so if I'm feeling leisurely, I'll hug the side. Either way, never forget to move with the flow. Not too fast or too slow. Even the most rebellious-seeming folks are helpless to conform.
Can I ask what this is for?
Sorry?
Can I ask what you're doing, what this is for? To be here doing this with the camera, you have to have permission this period.
Really?
Yeah, if you're taking a picture, a quick selfie of yourself and you're passing through, that's okay. But if you're just standing as you are taking pictures, you have to have pre-authorized permission.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
If you're traveling the path, here's a tip. The buildings above influence the tunnels underneath, like trees pushing their roots through dark soil. I know when I'm under TD Waterhouse, for example, because tarnished siding hems in my vision and muddy brown marble covers the walls.
The tunnels under First Canadian Place feel like stepping into a ritzy snow globe. The window displays pop of lights so clean my teeth hurt, although that might just be me.
Because 9 years ago, I worked in the concourse under First Can, as it was known to us tunnel dwellers. For 18 months, I was a bookseller at this Indigo Spirit below the food court. After my last year at University of Toronto, I had no money and no plan. I applied to dozens of jobs, and Indigo was the only one to call me back. This was early in the takeover days. Chapters in Kohl's bookstores began to disappear, and the phoenix that rose from the drywall dust seemed bookish, sure, but also obsessed with better homes and gardens. I remember feeling very depressed at this point in my life. 2 to 5 tall boys greeted me when I got home, and in my evening stupors I conjured plenty of ideas, but by the time I woke up, nothing manifested into a sense of purpose. One morning on the bus, I stared out the window and thought, is it possible to feel this awful forever?
And a voice inside me responded, yes.
Working retail in the path reminds me most of a sea anemone. There was low tide in the morning, when the boredom was so thick I could feel it press against me like water. I'd will myself not to stare at the clock. Then at high tide, the path swelled with people on their lunch breaks, eager to purchase Babar books for their children, and romance novels for the commute, and pop psychology manifestos for their marriages. I learned that it's not easy being a sea anemone. Inertia is one of the heaviest burdens I've ever carried. Staying in one place for too long crippled my creativity, and I forgot that, to move forward, all someone needs is a nudge. One day, a friend of mine offered me a job that paid $19 an hour, a specialized construction trade, and I handed in my 2 weeks. I'll write about the construction days in an upcoming one word, but it's worth mentioning that I'd often return to the path. If I was a sea anemone before,
now I was a roaming barracuda. I'd park my work van in the loading dock off York Street and carry in my equipment and conjure a whole lot of noise and concrete dust, and sometimes a tendril or two of blood.
In this new role, I learned that path sprawls beyond the pedestrian hallways. There are hidden doorways and server rooms and trash compactors the size of 3 elephants side by side. Underneath the retail concourse are less illuminated levels, where the heating and cooling systems whine like toddlers craving attention. My favorite, by far, was the empty rooms, dotted throughout the path, forgotten or ignored, I could never figure out which, that offer me a few minutes of silence in a day filled with man-made thunder. The construction years were also in my past. Now, I wake up at 6 a.m., and in just 2 hours, I'm 25 kilometers away, on a GO train bound for Union Station. In the final leg of my trip, I take the path, walking past the Indigo Spirit, past the service doors and secret rooms, until I reach an elevator that lifts me to the 9th floor. Although I sit at a desk, I work inside digital spaces, generating blocks of information as weightless as clouds, and track the invisible eyes that feast on them. I stay perched up there until it's time to go home. Then I'm back in the path, in the pedestrian flow, with its endless smells, corridors, and reflections.
I admitted to my wife recently that I love walking the path. And I think it's because this place reminds me of my journey through life, which isn't a straight line with a beginning and an end.
Instead, my path resembles a circle. Down in the illuminated hallways, I experience the circular nature of my life. I'm reminded that I was once stuck in the small corner of the ocean floor. Later, on my next trip around, I was a roaming barracuda, never in one place for more than a few hours. And today, I'm soaring in the clouds and diving under the surface. I love the path, not only because it's Toronto's most underrated landmark, but because I can throw on my headphones, join the flow of foot traffic, and wonder, who will I be on my next trip round the circle? There's something heartening in the idea if I can summon the energy to believe in my path. I'll know that this life is a culmination of not one linear experience with a beginning and an end, but lengths of a circle, well-worn and memorable and, yes, hard to predict, perhaps even inscrutable, yet also so damn beautiful and complete.